Story. It's just a regular old story. It's a true story. As I thought about this, I realized the implications, and I realized how Christ has always worked through my life even when I was too stupid to understand it. Think of Scripture as I read. Now, when it was time for me to let loose and relax and enjoy some me time underwater, I didn't have to worry about looking out for anybody and protecting other people. It's just me. So I chose a different path. I chose cave diving. No, anybody knows anything about it, but I can tell you this. As an experienced cave diver, I can tell you this quite certainly. Cave diving is extremely stupid, and you should never, ever dive in dark caves. You can die there real easy. Divers die every year in caves. I've been in caves where 30, 40 people have died. It is a fact that at most cave mouths, where the mouth of the cave is underwater, and it's accessible by the general public, there are signs posted that literally have the Grim Reaper, sickle and all, standing on the corpses of divers. It's an image. You see that when you go into the cave. Right before you go in there. And it says things. It says, prevent your death, go no further. There's nothing in this cave worth dying for. There's nothing in this cave worth dying for. Do not go beyond this point. That's true. They swim around them all the time. They're stupid. Like my story. I've explored caves that had the entrance well underwater and hidden from most people. I have seen things and done things that most people will never get a chance to do because they're smarter than me, did cave dive. Don't go into dark caves. So I'd put on my scuba gear, these man-made devices that provided me with a temporary, limited amount of air that gave me a false sense of controlling my own destiny. And I would leave the safety of the atmosphere, which gives me life. And I would submerge myself underwater. And I'd swim to the mouth of the caves, and I'd turn on my lights because it's extremely dark under there in caves, underwater, where the light don't shine. As you enter the dark void of the unknown, you could look over your shoulder behind you, and you can see the light of the entrance of the cave getting further and further away. Smaller until eventually you get to the point where you can't even see that light anymore. You're in utter and complete darkness. I'm telling you, there is no dark like being in the bottom of an underwater cave. If you make any mistakes in that darkness, like a sudden or quick movements, which is difficult to not do, because you're basically climbing, crawling as much as swimming in these caves. These cave entrances sometimes are like crawling underneath this chair, and I'm not exaggerating. Crawling under these chairs and working your way to the back of the room. If you do get careless, you're likely to stir up the silt in the cave. The silt in that cave, it settles on everything or everyone that comes in contact with it. And the clarity of that water basically becomes chocolate milk. And even your man-made lights, you can't penetrate it. You find yourself blind in the darkest darkness you have ever known. Now you only have one option. You have to go further into that cave to get away from the silted up water. So your lights can actually see through the clear water again. Then you see things in the distance and you go, wow, I'm going to go look at that. And you go further into the cave. And you think, what's around that next bend? Look at those cool stalactites hanging down, which they are underwater stalactites. And all the odd, mysterious things down here just waiting to be experienced by you. you get drawn deeper and further into the cave by the allure of things unseen that you feel you need to experience, you want to experience. And you go further through multiple chambers. They seem to open up to bigger and bigger ones, all of which have the promise of wonderful things unseen. And then sometimes you'll come across a big, long, straight path that opens up before you. Much like Twin Caves and Maris Mill Pond in Mariana. You come to a place where it opens up and it's a cathedral-like corridor and it's long and light shines down there. We're talking about visibility from the door. Just, wow, I've got to go in there. Summons you. It's a draw like no other. So you go down that path too. Seeing how it seems to be a lot safer and inviting. Straight, you can actually swim. You don't have to crawl. Then you see something out of the corner of your eye. Something catches your attention. You swing your dive light around, and there's something coming at you from the darkness. Something coming for you. And it winds up being a freshwater eel. As big around as your leg, 5 foot long. And he's followed by another and another. They're in there. And you see one, it's shocking. They live in that darkness their entire lives. And now you're in there with them. Your light has attracted them to you. They've come to see what it's about. And when they get up there to you, they rub on you all slimy, slithering, almost as if they're trying to rub you off on them. Think about that experience. I didn't say all experiences are good, did I? I've been in this cave multiple times. It happened every time. You don't know what their intentions are. But you see their sharp teeth and you know they're dangerous. And you want to fight them off, but you realize there's more of them than you. So you tolerate their intrusions. And when you gather enough nerve and strength, you just slowly push past them. And you're going further and deeper into the cave, and you leave them behind you. You leave them behind you. At some point, you look at your air pressure gauge and you realize, I can go no further before I run out of air and die alone in this darkness. So I have to turn around now before it's too late. And if you haven't drug a cave line in behind you, you keep them on reels on your belt. You reel them out as you go in. You haven't kept it on, haven't drug it in the cave behind you. Attached to the cave entrance so you can find your way back out to the light, then you may never find your way out again and die in the darkness anyway. But if you have left that lifeline, you slowly reel in your cave line and you follow it back out from the darkness chamber, the darkest chambers, to the next, and you're getting further and further from the darkness. You've left it behind, and eventually you get back to that part of the cave that you stirred up and silted up and muddied the water. You couldn't see through it. But at this point, much to your surprise, it is cleared out and cleared away. Now you can better see through it to find your way out. You keep going and you start to see the light way off in the distance. The light that's always there. And your line is leading to it, that lifeline you brought with you. That's the cave entrance, and you slowly reel up your line and you get closer and closer and closer. And just when you start to get to the mouth of that cave, it becomes a little difficult to breathe. That breath you took out of that regulator is stifling. It's kind of hard to breathe. That's your air regulator telling you you've messed up and you've lingered down here too long and you're about to run out of air. kind of a last minute warning thing. You have to swim a little faster, which is difficult in a cave because remember, you're basically climbing, crawling, and swimming through the muck and mire at the same time, and you have to stay focused and you have to pay close attention because if you panic now, you die, and they may never find your body. So you focus on that light, and it gets bigger and bigger as you get closer and closer. Your breathing is getting harder and harder, and you finally come to that light, and you come to the mouth of the cave just to realize you're still underwater. You've got about 15 more feet to swim to the surface. And you can't come up too fast. It's dangerous. So we have to control your breathing. Slow down, concentrate, focus on saving your own life. Now, just before you get to that surface where the light is, with this life-giving atmosphere, you realize there could be other people in boats there, watching. And even though you want to swim up and snatch your mask and regulator off and gulp down all that life-giving air, you don't want to lose your calm, cool composure and look silly in front of people. So you come up calmly and sheepishly, the Baptist way. And as you break the surface of the water and you pull your regulator off, you inhale that breath of fresh air. And another, and another. That life-giving oxygen. When you get the air and you get life back to you, you're safe and you didn't die after all. The first thing you think, that was cool, I can't wait to do that again. That's why I've been in so many caves. Never mind that you almost died doing it. You almost lost your everything. Never mind that you were alone in the darkness and there were things down there that seemed unnatural, that would rub all over you when you really didn't understand their intentions. But you knew that they were dangerous. Never mind it is so very, very easy to get lost among all the darkness. Did you really forget what that life-giving breath of fresh air that saved you felt? I want to stress again, don't cave dive. Not even just a little taste, because it has a way of pulling you in deeper and deeper. Don't go down long paths of darkness. You can get lost and lose your everything.
Brother Jack, I don't mean to interrupt you.
You're good.
You just had a good example of sin. You don't do it, I'll do it for you. Okay, it was a good example of sin. It looks exciting. You want to participate in it. You want to see what's around the next curve. And I think those eels will be like freedoms in hell.
That's right.
The lifeline, of course, is Jesus.
You're all over, brother.
And I believe once I broke the service, I'd forget about Baptist. I'd be a Pentecostal. I'd be shouting and splashing all over the place.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but think that all the time.